And a good Thursday morning to you, everyone. Welcome to 95.5 KZLC. We are the voice of Louisiana Christian University. Hope you're having a great day so far today. I'm Al Quartermont, professor here at Louisiana Christian University, and this is our Introduction to Mass Communications class. And we're going to take a little time to introduce some of the guys to you here on the radio and talk about some of the topics that they're bringing. Because of the size of the class, we're going to kind of do this in shifts. Starting out with three young men. First of all, Grant Lasserre, Malachi Jackson, and also Danny Cobb. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you guys doing today?
Good morning, Mr. Al. Well.
Good to have you here in the studio as we wrap up a semester. Man, it feels like it's close to being over, doesn't it?
Yeah, sure does. Went fast.
It did go pretty fast when you really think about it. So we have today, tomorrow, and then classes are done, and then next week the students here at Louisiana Christian University will all be taking their final exams, and then they head out on Christmas break. I'm sure you guys are ready.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
All right, well, we're going to talk about a few different topics with these guys, and we'll have some more students who will shift on in as we continue as well. Let's start off with Grant. What did you want to talk about today?
So I wanted to start off with talking about the A's moving to Las Vegas.
You are a guy from the Oakland area. You've been a lifelong A's fan, and your team is moving. I can't even imagine.
It sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know what to really say about it besides sell the team.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I think the ownership just kind of didn't really do anything with the A's. I mean, at least Fisher, in the 18 years that he owned the A's, he didn't have a single World Series appearance. He had 7 playoff appearances.
Yeah.
But nothing to show for it. Obviously, the goal every single year for a Major League Ball club is to win a World Series, and they didn't even sniff a World Series.
Which is sad. But, I mean, given the amount of money that he would not spend on the team, there wasn't, Moneyball, the Oakland A's were the team that spawned Moneyball, which was using analytics to get more out of players than you might otherwise get, and that carried them for a while. But now that everyone's doing it, It kind of brought them back down a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Billy Beane, he was a big part of that, But I just think in 2005, everything just kind of went downhill, and everybody knows that the A's were always payroll-wise on the low side compared to everyone else. And this last year in 2023, they had the lowest payroll.
Yeah.
And it showed with the fan base, not really going to the games except for the reverse boycott game.
Right.
Yeah. And that was actually really cool. I had a buddy that got to go, and he made a sign that said, John Fisher, peace sitting down. Yeah, so
wow.
I thought that was pretty funny.
So explain to people what the reverse boycott game was.
So the reverse boycott game is everybody packed the house pretty much because they were trying to make a statement about all the rumors about moving to Vegas and stuff. And before, this was before it came out that they were actually going to move, or they got approved by Nevada or whatever. But they all the local fan base just kind of came together for that one game, and in the 5th inning they all started shouting "Sell the team."
Wow.
And that was on a live broadcast, so it was kind of crazy to see. I wish I was there, but I did get to watch it, so that was cool. But yeah, I think the fan base did definitely make a statement there.
Yeah.
But the commissioner, Rob Manfred,
Yeah.
What he said about it was crazy. It was the most it was just well, I got the quote here. He just kind of said, it was great to see that an average Major League Ball club crowd came in for this one game.
An average?
Yeah, an average. And
wow,
it's crazy because he knows the situation about the team and the attendance wise, and the stadium isn't nice by any means. I mean, to me it is because I went there as a kid.
Yeah.
And it was like my second home. And for him to kind of talk about the A's like that as a commissioner didn't seem very professional to me at all.
No.
And it's just how is this guy running the whole Major League Baseball,
Well, we experienced a little bit of that in Milwaukee with him making some comments about the stadium. They opened the new ballpark in 2001, but already indicating that it's needing $400 million in repairs and upgrades. And with kind of the hint that if they don't get it, they're going to move. Now, fortunately, the state legislature has come up with the money and they're going to do that, but people did not appreciate that because they have supported that team. Right. Brewers every year draw close to 3 million fans, 2.5, 3 million.
Right, and you guys got a good ball club, too.
Yeah, but we can't keep our superstars because once they become free agents, we can't afford that. I think baseball, that is the major problem with baseball to me and why they've lost their national presence is people know that only a handful of teams really have a realistic chance to win and get the top players. It's no guarantee.
Right,
I mean, look at the Mets this year. They spent a ton of money and they stunk. And
they lost the two guys that they spent a bunch of money on.
Right, exactly. So, but, I mean, to take a team like Oakland, baseball is about one thing, tradition. Mm-hmm. And even though you look at the Oakland A's, they used to be the Kansas City A's and before that the Philadelphia A's. Right. But when they made it to Oakland, that's when they became a championship franchise. Mm-hmm. The 3 World Series in the 1970s when you had Reggie Jackson and Joe Rudy and Gene Tennis.
Back-to-back 72 and 72.
Yep, Catfish Hunter. But then the early days of free agency decimated that team.
Right.
And then they came back in the 80s and with the Bash Brothers, McGuire and Canseco.
Right. They beat the Giants in that Bay Area or Bay Bridge series where we had the earthquake. Yeah, that was crazy.
That was unfortunate.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
And then even coming into the 2000s where you had some pretty good teams with the pitching when you had Mark Mulder and Barry Zito and Hudson.
Yeah, that was the big three. I actually got a signed hat by all 3 of them.
Nice.
Yeah.
But. So it's heartbreaking for me for the fans. So do you think, is there still a realistic chance of the team being sold or is it a done deal for them to go to Vegas?
I don't see the owners selling the team by any means because they just seem to be stubborn, you know?
Yeah.
And like throughout all of the years that they've owned it, Oakland A's baseball hasn't kept a single like superstar. Mm-hmm. The year we either trade them because we can't afford them or they become free agents and then just go and do their thing because we can't pay them enough.
Yeah.
And it's just very sad to see because I mean I got this Chapman jersey on, you know?
Right.
And it was when he left, I mean Matt left and Sean left and Matt and Sean went on to the Braves and they just won we went to the playoffs, but they won a World Series a couple years prior, which is crazy. Like why are all our players just going to these superstar teams? It's because they're able to get paid by them, you know.
Yep. And I don't blame the players. I mean, anyone would want to make as much money as they can, but the other flip side of this is how much these franchises are really worth. Because look at Mark Cuban now. He's getting ready to sell his share of the Dallas Mavericks.
Right.
And I think when he bought the team, he paid like $325 million. Now he's going to sell it for, what was the figure, like $5 billion or something? I mean, it's like insane.
What he did with the team is crazy, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got Luka, and he had Dirk. Well, was he the owner when he had Dirk?
I think so, yeah.
I mean, he had, 2 big foreign superstars come over and just, I mean, Dirk gave him the championship, you know?
He did. So, anyway, I know it's disappointing, and if the Brewers left, I'd probably stop watching Major League Baseball. Do you think you can still find interest in it?
I mean, yeah. I did the same thing. I did it with the Raiders.
Yeah.
I know baseball is different because it means more to me.
Right.
But if they changed their whole logo and their whole deal, then I probably would stop.
Yeah.
But if they kept the whole thing, they kept the Kelly Green,
Yeah.
And kind of somewhat kept the rooted in Oakland feel, I think I would. But it's just sad to know that they won't be rooted in Oakland anymore.
Very sad.
Yeah.
Very sad. Well, Grant, it's been great to have you. I know you're part of the LCU baseball team. How are you guys looking for the spring?
I think we're going to be pretty nice.
Yeah?
Yeah. Coach, hypes us up.
Yeah.
We love that guy.
Hey, baby.
Big Burns. Yeah. We love Burns. But, I think we're going to have a pretty good team. I think we got, like, one transfer coming in. Mm-hmm. He's a lefty, and he seems pretty good. But I think our chances at winning, a conference championship are pretty high.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, look forward to watching you this spring. It's been great having you in class, and I think I have you at least one next semester.
Yeah, I think you do.
So that'll be good. All right, Malachi Jackson is with us as well. Last time we did this radio show, we found out he's a Winfield Tiger. Grew up in Winfield, played high school football there. He's repping the colors today. I love the logo for Winfield because it's the same logo that the Wisconsin Badgers use.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
It's okay. We don't mind.
Yeah, we almost had a lawsuit.
Oh yeah. Well,
but we got the rights to it.
There you go. Well, that's good. So, what did you want to talk about today?
I'm here to talk about personally being a Winfield Tiger. This is a tough subject, but I'm here to talk about some Gina Giants football.
Hey, that's actually a pretty interesting subject right now.
Because this is their first year ever making it to the semifinals. They're undefeated right now, and they're just blowing everybody out of the water. They have been blowing out people like Buckeye. They beat Buckeye 74-38.
Wow.
And they beat Caldwell 60-70,
wow.
Which is they kind of remind me of a 2019 LSU team.
It kind of has that feel, yeah. Now their head coach, I'm trying to remember his name. Is it Jay Rourke?
Yes,
right?
it's
okay.
Jay Rourke.
Yeah, and he's been there a few years now.
He's been there for a number of years because whenever I played, he was there.
Okay. So what do you think it is that they've been able to do with that program that's vaulted them? They play Friday with a chance to go to the Superdome.
Yep, they play Union Parish, and I just feel like it's been just more motivation that they've been able to come up with. I can't tell you because I'm not from Gina, but I know that they've been busting their tails and stuff. I've seen them on the news over the summer and stuff of them working out, and people saying that locally that Gina's going to be a really good football team this year, and they've proved it, beating big teams like Mangum, who went to the wire against Oak Grove in the quarterfinals. And they beat a good Leesville team, and they beat a really good Tioga team 28-6, and that's when I was like, okay,
they're legit.
They're the real deal, and they beat an undefeated Bunkie team 38-22, which was a really good game. I had the chance to watch that. And they have some real notable players. Number one, I can't say his first name, but his last name's Hunter. He's really good wide receiver. He can go up and get it. I've watched the quarterback throw it up to him. You put that dude one-on-one with a corner, no safety help, he's going to go up and he's going to get it. And number 7, Zurich Jones, the running back, he has been phenomenal this year. He's put up numbers. He's well over 1,000 yards rushing. He's well over at least 20 touchdowns, if I had to guess. He's been really, really good. He's won a whole bunch of awards this year, and Gina's been just outstanding this year.
It's cool to see because Central Louisiana, for whatever reason, always seems to struggle in the playoffs, our local teams, with the exception of the Manny Tigers.
Yeah.
They've been pretty dominant. They got knocked off last week. But we'll see how that continues after their coaching change, if they can keep that tradition going. But Gina has kind of grabbed that mantle, so to speak, and now they've become that dominant team in Central Louisiana.
Yes, sir.
Did you guys used to play them? And
yeah, last year we played them and we beat them 41-26.
Oh, okay.
But that was when I was playing, so
yeah. Well, that's the difference. That's it.
I went to I went to the game that they played this year, and the coach asked where the heck I was. And I was like, well, I'm in college now.
Oh, wow.
And he felt a little relieved.
How did you play against them last year?
I just ran and threw the ball.
Wow.
And I just kept the ball, ran, scored a touchdown. And I barely managed to throw the ball right over the corner's head. Ended up an 80-yard touchdown.
Nice. So when you came here, did you have any intentions of playing football, or you just were coming for being a student?
I did, but then I was like, man, I already got a whole bunch of things wrong with me. I got bad shoulders, bad knees,
yeah,
everything. But Gina's just outstanding. They play Union Parish this week, who has produced Trey Holly, who plays at LSU. He's really good. He's a freshman this year.
Wow. Of course, Gina produced Jeray Jenkins, who just graduated from LSU last year.
Yeah, he was on the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, a good talent. I was surprised he didn't get drafted. I think they signed him as a free agent.
Yes, sir.
But really outstanding talent as well for LSU.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, well, who do you think is going to win, Gina or Union Parish?
I think Gina's going to end up pulling through because I've seen, like, all their stats and stuff throughout all these games. They've beat a meet who has been dominant for the past couple of years.
Right.
And
that was a team they couldn't get past, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a different team this year.
Oh, yeah. They have a really big offensive line. They have really good running back, good quarterback is a good leader. And their defense is just outstanding. Their defense has number 3, Jacob Belcher. I know him personally. Me and him we're pretty good friends.
Okay.
And stuff. So
nice.
Yeah, it's been amazing being able to keep up with Gina and watch them make this historic run. So,
absolutely.
and I believe they're going to make it to the state championship. Are they going to win it? I don't know. We'll have to see because I think St. James is going to be right there with them because St. James is really good too, but it's going to be a dogfight.
Those River Parish schools are so tough. It's kind of a different level, but you never know. So that's awesome. All right, and then lastly, we're talking with Danny Cobb. He's also part of the class. Danny, what you got for us?
I want to talk about my Baltimore Ravens.
His Baltimore Ravens. Okay.
I just have some stats that I want to talk about. Lamar with 2,618 yards, 13 TDs, and 5 interceptions on the season. 574 of those yards being rushing. So he hasn't been rushing as much. He's been throwing the ball. We can't call him a running back anymore. The rookie, Zay Flowers, 58 receptions, 613 yards, and 2 TDs. Got his first touchdown in America last game against the Chargers. Undrafted rookie that we picked up, Keaton Mitchell, 26 carries for 269 yards and 2 TDs. Came out of nowhere, started playing excellent when we used him how we should.
Yeah.
Gus
they
Edwards
played him more.
Yeah, John Harbaugh just, when something goes wrong, he just says that's how the game goes. He never has anything to say when we don't use players like we should. Gus Edwards, 141 carries, 590 yards, 10 TDs. Odell, 27 receptions for 408 yards, 2 TDs. He's been doing decent recently. At first, he wasn't really playing like Odell. Recently, he's been getting better. I guess he's getting used to the team.
Yeah.
Rashad Bateman, 22 receptions, 236 yards, 1 touchdown. Nelson Aguilar, 20 receptions, 282 yards, 3 touchdowns. Mark Andrews has 45 receptions, 544 yards, 6 TDs. He's injured right now, so he hasn't been playing.
How bad is he hurt? Do you know?
They didn't. So when he got an X-ray done, they said that his injury wasn't as extreme as they thought, so he should be coming back soon.
Oh, that's good. He's such a good player.
He's great. I love Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
And then our defense, we have 11 interceptions, 47 sacks, and 1 defensive touchdown this season. We're ranked second with only giving up 5 touchdowns this season, giving up 4 yards per play, and around 163 pass yards given up a game. And then Lamar has broken the record for fastest player in NFL history to reach 5,000 rushing yards with his. He got around I think 70 yards against the Chargers rushing, and it brought him over those rushing yards that he needed. And our team also tied the record for 43 games of rushing for over 100 yards in a row. So we're doing good this year, and I'm hoping it's not another year where we get to the playoffs and then we can't make it past the first round.
Are you leading the division?
We are right now.
Yeah, which helps a little that Joe Burrow's out for the season. Pittsburgh hasn't really found itself this year. And who else is in that division? Titans?
The Browns.
Oh, Browns.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
and they've had a lot of injury issues with their quarterback, especially. I saw where Joe Flacco might be starting.
The Ravens legend might be playing this week.
That's right. He is a Ravens legend.
He is a Ravens legend.
So what makes a Louisiana kid a big Ravens fan?
That's a really good question. At first, my grandpa introduced me to football. I was a Packers fan for maybe 3 days.
Oh, wow.
And then Saints fan because, Louisiana. And then I started playing football, was a linebacker playing, and I saw Ray Lewis. And I was like, I want to be a Ravens fan because of Ray Lewis.
Yeah.
And I stuck with that from when I was younger.
He was quite a player.
He was.
For sure. So, that, yeah. It's one thing, when you're a kid, you develop like an allegiance to a team. Right. Sometimes it's local, but then other times it's just something as much as like that, where you just see a guy and you're like, man, I love that guy and want to be like that.
Right.
So, you played linebacker, huh?
I did in middle school.
Okay.
So.
All right. Did you stay with football or no?
I wanted to until I tried out for high school, and they kind of told me that I wasn't fit to play, and I got unmotivated to play.
Dang.
And so, actually, Coach told me personally that we know how to win. That was his exact quote that he told me. I was like, all right. So I just stopped playing football.
Well, that's not exactly encouraging.
So.
Wow. Well, hey, it just took you in another direction.
It did.
Life, right?
Now I'm here.
That's it. Now you can talk about the sports teams.
I love it.
So that's great. All right, good job, you guys. Bringing some strong topics here to the show this morning. Again, you're just tuning in. That was Grant Lasserre, also Malachi Jackson and Danny Cobb. We got some more students in the studio. They're going to step in and talk in just a moment, so stay with us. You're listening to 95.5 KZLC. And welcome back, everyone, here on 95.5 KZLC, the voice of Louisiana Christian University. I'm Al Quartermont. Glad you could be with us here as our introduction to mass communications class continues to get a little chance to talk on the radio here. We got a couple more students stepping in with us, as we have with us now Bryson Baloney, and also we have with us Seth Bynog. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good to have you guys with us. How you guys doing today?
Good.
Just trying to stay warm.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's challenging not only outside but even inside the building. Stay warm these days.
Yep.
So.
Yes, sir.
All right, Bryson, what you got for us today?
Man, I got for y'all today to talk about the NFL fines, man.
The NFL fines.
Yes.
I've seen where J.J. Watt has been calling that out.
Yes, I'm all aboard with him.
Yeah.
Because it's just crazy to me.
Explain to the folks what's happening with the fines.
Well, the NFL, like, what I see is, like, for the uniforms and the clothing they wear and stuff, it's just nonsense. Like, the cliques.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, since, like, Christmas coming around, I remember Alvin Kamara from the New Orleans Saints. He wore these green and red cliques one game for Christmas, and they fined him, like, $5,000. Even though it's nothing to him, but still, it's like, it's a pair of cliques. Like, don't you want your players, like, to express themselves? Like, it's still crazy to me.
Some people call it the no fun league for NFL, and it feels like that more and more.
Yeah, they just come up with all kind of rules and just trying to change up the game. But people like to see style like that. Like, some people get really motivated from like the styles that they wear, the cleats, the gloves, the, like, no showing legs. Like, I found out recently that NFL players can't show their legs.
Oh, is that true? I never knew that.
I never knew that.
Huh.
I found that out.
Wow.
Like, have you seen a NFL player? They always have, like, long socks or some that's covering their knees and legs. I didn't know they couldn't show it. They fine them for that. I was like, wow, they just get fined for anything.
I know that before the game, they have, like, an official at every game that goes around and just looks at everyone's uniforms.
Yeah.
So, like a uniform spy.
Yep. OBNJ, he's known for, like, all his crazy cliques, his gloves, and his style. I know one game he had these Joker cliques. He played, like, 2 series with them on, and they told him he have to take it off or he's not playing the game, like, playing the game anymore.
Wow.
So he had to go back to the locker room and put on some plain black cleats.
I mean, they should allow a little bit,
Yeah,
at least.
Look, like, at least for, like, the gloves, the cleats and stuff. they just get fined for random stuff. Like, it's just crazy. Like, it's not like they can't pay for it. Like, they have the money, but still, it's just
Shouldn't have to.
yeah.
I'm also seeing too where they're finding a lot of players for hits that a lot of times are just normal parts of football.
Yep.
But it's either that or they're getting flagged for ridiculous roughing the passer penalties. A lot of times that they're changing the whole game because of that.
Yeah, I feel like they trying to make it soft.
Yeah.
Football is not for everyone. It's a rough sport. It's a man's sport. So yeah, I can see why they kind of changed it, but they taking the fun out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, players work their body up for all that, and some players could really take that big old hit. And I see sometimes when they get a big hit, the other player compliments the player that tackled them. I'm like, and they still throw a flag, and the other opponent be like, "Why you threw a flag? It was a good hit."
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Right. No, it's definitely the case. Yeah. One more thing. There's a young photographer who was working for the NFL. He actually started out in high school, like making his own videos and things like that, and connected with some top players like Tyreek Hill. And then he was going to the University of Miami, and Hill got traded there. So Hill hired him to be like his personal photographer, and then the NFL hired him to work at the Dolphins games. And remember that play was a few games ago where Hill scored, and then he grabbed the guy was shooting with his phone.
I actually know what you're talking about.
And he did like the backflip.
Yep.
And then when he gave the phone back to the photographer, he was just excited, so he was going to run back into the media room and send that video back so that they could post it. And he was kind of like jumping up and down, excited. The NFL suspended him for doing that.
Yeah, I actually followed the guy on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I heard his story. He was like, him and Tyreek was his best friends. He been working with him. Just one game, Tyreek said he just seen him, and he just came up to the camera and just did a flip with it, and he was like excited. It was just a dream come true to him, and he was just so excited. And he started jumping at the pedal for it, and he said that would be the last time that he was working for the NFL. I was like, why they kicked him off? Like,
I know.
That's an exciting thing. Like,
that's what you want, young people.
Who would expect that?
Yeah, no, I don't get the NFL sometimes.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Some things I just don't agree with.
Yeah, so I hate that for him. But he's a talented young man. I'm
Yes,
sure
he is.
someone's going to hire him to do something.
Yep.
So, all right, good job. All right, let's bring in Seth Bynog. Seth, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing, Mr. Al?
Good. What do you want to talk about today?
Well, last time I was on here, I talked about the Thursday night football game with the Packers and I think it was the Lions. But this morning I thought I'd come on here and talk about the NFL in general, like where the teams stand.
Yeah.
I want to start with what Danny was on here earlier. He said he liked the Ravens, and I'll admit the Ravens do got skill. According to stats, they are ranked second in the NFL, right behind my Philadelphia Eagles.
Your Philadelphia Eagles. Okay. All right.
And I was watching the Eagles game Sunday night, and it kind of didn't really live up to my expectations. I expected it to be a blowout. I mean, at the end of the first quarter, we scored. Jalen Hurts rushed the ball, scored a touchdown. I thought, okay, we got this game. But as we got to the second quarter, I thought, oh, now I'm starting to get nervous. But in the third quarter, we kind of made a comeback. But what made me the scariest, what made me the most nervous was when we had to go into overtime. When a game goes into overtime, when my team plays, kind of makes me nervous.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, that ended up being a very exciting game.
It did. It was a very exciting game.
One where you kind of questioned some of Buffalo's strategy.
Yeah.
And what about the 59-yard kick at the end of regulation?
By Tyler Bass?
No, by the Eagles kicker.
Oh, yeah, that one.
I'm trying to remember his name. Is it Elliott? I don't know. Anyway, but he hit a 59-yarder, and then that opened the door.
That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, the Bills got a field goal in overtime, but then the Eagles drove right down. And I'll tell you one thing. I have Jalen Hurts as my fantasy quarterback, and I also have Devontae Smith. And that last drive earned me wins in 2 different leagues. So I was very appreciative that it went overtime and that they were able to do that.
Right. Well, I was watching football not too long ago, and my mom told me she read on Facebook where it's predicted the Ravens may go to the Super Bowl. And I'm like,
Yeah, they have a shot.
I don't know. I mean, I've never seen the Ravens go into the Super Bowl.
I mean, the AFC doesn't really have a dominant team this year. That team has kind of been the Chiefs the last few years, but they're scuffling a little bit.
Yeah, I expected.
The Dolphins don't play well against good teams, so so we'll see on them. But yeah, the Ravens with that kind of defense and running game.
I think that's the Ravens are the #1 team in the AFC.
Okay, nice. So, what made you an Eagles fan?
Well, actually, the Eagles were actually my first team before I started liking any other teams. I remember back in 2018 when they were playing the Patriots in the Super Bowl. I wasn't really much of a football fan. I was watching it with my friends, and I'm like, well, who do you guys want to win the Super Bowl? And he said, the Eagles. We don't like the Patriots. And I thought, okay, I'll go for the Eagles.
Yeah, that's when Nick Foles led them to a win.
Yes, sir.
Which is, when you look back on it now, it's kind of crazy that happened. So
hopefully Jalen Hurts can live up to his legacy.
Who do you like in the NFC to maybe go to the Super Bowl?
That's a really, really good question because...
I mean, I guess the Eagles are favored at this point.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So,
but I would say in the AFC it's probably going to be the Ravens. As much as I hate to admit it, it will probably be the Ravens.
Right. So it'll be interesting. The playoffs are always a lot of fun, and these last few weeks as we get into them are always a lot of fun. Great time of year for the NFL.
Yes, sir.
Even if they won't let people have any fun, right?
Yes, with tomorrow being the first day of December, we're getting closer and closer to the Super Bowl.
We are. It'll be here before you know it. So, all right, Seth, thank you for that. Good job.
Problem.
Good job. And good job by our whole class today. Hope you guys enjoyed getting a chance to hear from the up-and-coming students here in the Louisiana Christian University Convergence Media program, especially those that are going into sports journalism, and we'll look forward to hearing much more from them coming up in the future. That'll do it for our show today. Hope you have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week. Merry Christmas, everyone, and we'll talk with you again next semester.